Hello, comic fans. It's Willie Mo,
What's up?
and it's Anthony, and we're here with another comic book breakdown.
All right.
And this week we're going to do a really great issue, Justice League of America, number 29, first appearance of the Crime Syndicate. Willie Mo used to be one of my favorite issues when I was younger. I had a reprint of this book in a giant-sized Justice League. I used to read this story and the story after it all the time, so I'm going to enjoy breaking this book down.
All right.
How's your, oh yeah, we can't do that yet until after our intro, right?
All right. Yep.
All right. We'll be right back with a comic book breakdown right after this.
Whoop!
Okay, folks, we're back here with our comic book breakdown. Willie Mo, how'd your week go this week?
My week's been pretty good. That was my last week of work before I start college.
Willie Mo got a big dose of reality this summer as he went to work in the mill.
Yep, I did.
And he did really well with it. I think the boss man said he wanted you to come back next summer.
Yeah.
Okay. And Will starts to college August 10th, so everybody drop a comment and wish him luck. I'm sure he would appreciate it. And we're looking forward to it because time for you to get out of the house a little bit, right?
Yeah.
The quicker we can get him out of college, he start making some money, right?
Yep. I got to go 4 years, so you better prepare yourself.
Well,
right.
I guess we'll just have to just suck it up for 4 years, reckon.
Yep.
All right.
Before we start, we did go see the new Spider-Man Brand New Day movie that came out in
We
theaters.
went yesterday, as a matter of fact.
And don't worry, we're not going to spoil it, but we will
Spoiler
say...
alert! Spoiler alert!
But I said we're not going to spoil it.
Yeah, but I know how you are.
But I will say it is a really, really good movie. That's all. It's really good. You
Really good.
worth the buy.
I felt like it's probably the best Spider-Man movie. Third one's really good, but I thought this one was a little better. I'll say this much. Traditional Spider-Man fans will like this movie. They'll like this movie. And that's really all I'll say about it. But just a good movie, and we had a good time. And even Owen went with us and sat through the whole movie and never went to the bathroom one time. So
What's next?
I got to see the whole movie.
What's next is...
Which is a rarity.
I know, that's awesome. What's next is Avengers Doomsday, which comes out December this ending this year.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see it personally. It looks like a very good film.
Yeah. It's probably going to be long.
I think it's about 3
the
hours.
Spider-Man movie is about 2.5 hours. By the time you watch all the previews, you better go ahead and donate about 3 hours to the movie. So just go ahead and tell you that.
The end credits are long, by the way, if you want to watch the post-credit scene. Let's just say that.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, we'll get started with our comic book breakdown. And, we're doing, again, Justice League number 29, which we talked about a little bit in the intro. This is the first appearance of the Crime Syndicate. And just a really great issue. At this time in DC, we had Earth 2 introduced in Flash number 123.
Because they had to do something with the old comic characters.
Yes, they brought the old comic book characters back in a parallel Earth. And the Flash of Two Worlds came out. I had that book at one time and sold it. It's very expensive now. But that led to more characters being introduced. The Justice Society of America was introduced in Justice League. And at this time, when this comes out, this is issue number 29, Earth 2 has been firmly established in the DC universe at this time. And the Justice Society and Justice League have been on adventures together. And Jay Garrick has been on adventures with Barry Allen and the Flash several times at the time that this comes out. And nobody really knew anything about an Earth 3 at this time. And I think it was just something that was created and all the characters were created in it. But as the issue starts out, it pretty much gives you the rundown, like a lot of Justice League America books, of the characters that are in the book. And you see Earth 1, you got the Justice League of America, And on Earth 2, you got the Justice Society of America, and it gives you 5 members of the Justice League, 5 members of the Justice Society, and then you're introduced to the 5 members of what is called the Crime Syndicate. And what's interesting is we start out in the book with Barry Allen. He's going to try to foil a robbery, and a policeman's about to get shot, and he stops the crime. And then Jay Garrick pretty much does the same thing on Earth 2. But then you go to Earth 3, and you see a guy wearing the same colors as the Earth 1 Flash, but he goes by the name of Johnny Quick.
And he's in fact stealing.
What's different about him is he is robbing a museum, and he almost gets caught. He gets a net thrown on him, and he starts talking about how he hasn't had anybody stop him in so long. There's just nobody there powerful enough to stop him, that he's out of practice. So he vibrates through the net, and then it quickly switches to another character called Power Ring and another character called Superwoman, and they are supposedly Earth 3's version of Green Lantern and Wonder Woman, and they're doing the same thing. They are doing a robbery, and they're talking about how out of practice they are in this robbery, and so they almost have problems too. And then it talks about on the next page the Earth 1 and Earth 2 Flash and the Green Lantern of Earth.
It explains
Earth
all
1
the
and Earth
Earths.
2, and the Atom of Earth 1 and Earth 2. But then it talks about Earth 3 and how everything is different. How the heroes from Earth 1 and Earth 2 are similar, but Earth 3 is different, and even the history is different. It talks about the United States was actually, England won its independence from the United States. And Christopher Columbus didn't discover America, he discovered England. And then it talks about how England won their independence in the Revolutionary War, and that Abraham Lincoln was the guy that shot the actor, the president, John Wilkes Booth, and Abraham Lincoln was the actor.
Mm-hmm.
And then they talk about how it's no wonder that the heroes, quote unquote heroes of Earth 3, are not heroes, they're villains, because everything is just turned upside down on that Earth. And then we go back into their secret lair, and Owlman is there, and they're talking about how they all almost got caught committing crimes today, and how they're all out of practice, and that they just don't have anybody to use their superpowers on. It's so easy. Everything's so easy. They're getting rusty and stuff.
And then Ultraman comes in, and he explaining how he's probably found a way to get warm up and get their powers back to full capacity by stealing, because he stole a large chunk of Kryptonite.
And Kryptonite does something different to Ultraman.
It gives him new powers instead of weakening him.
It does not weaken him, right. Right.
And he, the new power that it gave him was Omni-Vision, is what it was called in this.
Right.
And he was able to see that different Earths and how the heroes were helping people. And he was confused why they were helping people with their powers and not using them for crimes.
And he actually only saw Earth 1 to start with.
Exactly.
And he saw the Justice League, yeah. And they were all helping people, and they were like superheroes and stuff. So after that, Johnny Quick talks about this being a sensational discovery, that we've all been getting rusty and from lack of suitable competition, and this is the answer to their problem.
Oh yeah, and before that, Power Ring used his powers to let everyone see what Ultraman was seeing.
Power Ring did use his powers to shoot a dimensional portal where they could look at Earth 1 and everybody saw the same thing. And so after that, Johnny Quick says what he says, and then Superwoman agrees with him, and she says they should go to Earth 1 and start doing some crimes so that it'll trigger the Justice League to spring into action against them. So they start talking about how when those do-gooders come up against them, it's going to be an easy fight. They're going to triumph. But Owlman, who is the smartest guy on the Crime Syndicate,
and you could say is the alternate version of Batman, you could say.
He comes up with an idea, and he says there might be a chance we don't win, so we need to have a backup plan just in case. And so they say, you tell us what you have in mind, but you don't get to see that in the comic because it switches to the Justice League, and they're in a meeting with Snapper Carr, which I still have no idea why
What
Snapper
he's
Carr
doing there?
was a character in the Justice League, but that's okay. But anyway,
Who is bro?
Batman talks about how Aquaman and Green Lantern, Adam and John Johns, or Green Arrow, Adam and John Jones are busy on urgent cases, so they're not there. So then you get to know why there's only a small roster of Justice League. But
I would like to think of the Snapper Car, if you know what I'm talking about, the meme of this guy sitting in a room and it says bro thinks he's part of the team and he's not even remotely close to anyone similar to anyone in there. So I think.
So moving on to chapter 2 of this book, you see in chapter 2 the Crime Syndicate has went to Earth 1 and they are committing crimes like crazy, and the Justice League is in their headquarters and they get the alarm that there are crimes being committed, and they start talking about
How they're gonna go fight their alternate versions technically.
Right. And apparently they get the names of these people. I don't know how, but they talk about, well, Green Lantern's going to go fight Power Ring, and Johnny Quick is Flash's speed, and Ultraman, and
It's superheroes, Dad. It doesn't. It's a superhero comic. It's not gonna make sense.
so anyway, they start talking about how they all have, each one has an alter ego that they can fight. But when Flash actually races to where he thinks he's going to fight Johnny Quick, he comes in contact with Ultraman. And he's like, well, where's Johnny Quick? The report said he was here. And Ultraman says, we super crooks don't stay around too long. They begin to fight each other. Flash runs around him, and he's creating a windmill around him, trying to suck a lot of the action, the oxygen out of the air. But Ultraman's got Ultra Breath, and he just blows Flash out of that spinning cycle, and Flash goes at a wall, but he vibrates through it before he gets in trouble. Then Flash is like, well, I know how to, if he's anything like Superman, I know how to beat him, and he goes and gets Kryptonite out of a museum.
And little does he know, that just gave him a new power instead.
Right. He throws it at him. It just shatters on his chest, and it gives him flame vision. Not heat vision, flame vision, where it shoots flames out of his eyes. And he shoots them at Flash, and Flash sees him coming, and he vibrates through the floor and comes up behind him, and he starts doing a windmill, or
He's making sounds.
Vibrates both hands like they're trip hammers, and the air pressure is shaking Ultraman up, and he starts blacking out. So then he starts doing what Owlman tells him, and he yells out, right before he passes out, he yells out the word Volthoom.
Yeah, and now you're wondering what the heck's going on, because even Flash is confused why. If something's happening to the Flash before it switches over to where Batman
Flash even
is.
says, what's happening to us, and then it goes over to the next fight, Will.
And Batman is going to where he thinks Owlman is, and Johnny Quick's there instead. And I think you can get the whole premise. It's going to be these heroes going to where they think they're going to fight someone, it's going to fight somebody else. Mm-hmm. Well, Batman throws a smoke bomb at Johnny Quick, but Johnny Quick basically just windmills the smoke back at him, and it was really gas. It wasn't smoke, but Batman just did a full-on judo hold and tried to go through the smoke and grab Johnny Quick, and it seemed like he had grabbed him for a second, but then because of his speed, Johnny Quick reversed the hold and it reversed it back on Batman. And Batman was hit the floor hard, but Johnny Quick thought he had the advantage, and he tried to jump on top of him, and Batman was playing possum.
Yeah.
And he punched him and about knocked him out. But right before he blacked out, he managed to save Volthoom, like Ultraman.
Right. And then the scene switches to Superman flying off to where he thinks Ultraman is going to be, but Power Ring is there. And Power Ring is actually taking his Power Ring and using giant hands to lift a bank up and emptying out all the gold bars into another green hand that he's made from the bank. Superman flies up and grabs the bank out of his hands, and then
Puts
he
it back
starts,
down.
yeah, he starts thinking about, well, since only kryptonite and magic can defeat me, I'll make short work of the this imitation Green Lantern.
But because I'm pretty sure Power Rings powers uses magic, it still stuns Superman when he uses them.
They find out later that his ring is crafted from magic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And he hits Superman and he stuns him for a second, and he was confused.
Superman thinks that the ring might be made out of kryptonite or gifted with magic, which he's right.
Which he's right about that.
So Superman, knowing that Green Lantern's weakness is yellow, he crafts the bars, melts them down, and crafts them into a shield, and then tries to use that shield to fight off Power Ring. And Power Ring is like, Superman's going to get nowhere with his shield, and he just melts it.
Because he thinks it's yellow and it's Green Lantern's weakness, but it doesn't work.
So then he thinks, well, Green Lantern of Earth 2's weakness is wood, so he gets a tree, and Power Ring just makes a giant saw and just shatters that tree into a bunch
And that's
of
also
slivers.
not his weakness.
Right, just shatters it into a bunch of slivers. But as soon as those slivers start sticking to Superman, he uses his super breath and inhales a bunch of air out of the air, and it just drops the oxygen down, and it pulls the air around him, and it creates a vacuum, and Power Ring starts blacking out. And as he's falling into Superman's arms, he yells out,
Volthoom.
And Superman says, something strange is happening. So then the next one is...
Surprisingly, Wonder Woman ends up fighting her actual counterpart, unlike everybody else.
Yeah.
And Superwoman's basically just happy that she gets to fight a person that's just like her, and she throws a bunch of statues she was holding at Wonder Woman. But Wonder Woman basically just breaks through all those and starts charging at her, but she gets thrown up in the air by Superwoman, and she gets flung.
With a kick, like a mule kick, I think.
And she manages to flip herself to the jet stream and basically stops her, because she's like, if that jet stream wasn't there, I would have been sent into space.
Yeah.
So she's trying to use the jet stream to her advantage, and she grabs Superwoman by the arm and the leg and throws her, and she starts spinning and getting dizzy. So Superwoman uses her lasso, which turns into some giant freaking dragon lizard thing. I don't even know what the heck that is. But then Wonder Woman pulls out her golden lasso and wraps up the lizard dragon thing. That's what I'm going to call it, lizard dragon thing. And it also wraps around Superwoman herself. And right before she's taken, she says Volthoom, like everyone else.
Yeah. And then we are transported back to Owlman, and he is also robbing something. And here comes Green Lantern in to take care of Owlman.
And this has got to be the stupidest fight I've ever seen in my life. I'm not going to lie.
Well, nobody ever said that 60s comics was big on strategy and
no, I don't even think it's the bad writing. I think Green Lantern's just stupid.
Well, anyway, Green Lantern, he fashions a bunch of sponges out of his ring because Owlman has unleashed some gas that's going to harm some people. And the sponges actually soak up the gas. And then he actually makes a cage to imprison Owlman.
But he made the bars too dang wide.
Right, and he can't figure out why he did that. But Owlman pulls out his alumina gun, and it says once his beams hits his eyes, it'll knock him out. But he actually says he'll put he shoots another cage at him with his ring, and he puts the bars closer together this time, so he said not even a skeleton could get out.
Yeah, but think about this. He didn't put a roof on it, so he just climbed over it.
Yeah, he didn't put a roof on it, and then Green Lantern's kind of like, how clumsy can I get? And then he starts thinking, the only answer could be that somehow Owlman, with his super brain, has been mentally telling me what to form with my power ring. So by setting up a force field around my brain, I'm free to use the old reliable punch. So apparently, Owlman, this is what I took from that. Apparently, Owlman has telepathic powers.
That is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, what?
He has to have telepathic powers.
I didn't think he had powers, though.
Yeah, he has to have them because That's the only explanation for that. Now, they never really say that later on, I don't think, but that's the only way he would have to put a force field around his brain, you know.
Yeah.
But again, he punches Owlman with once he sets that force field up, he makes a huge boxing glove with his ring and punches Owlman, knocks him out. But right before he falls out, he screams Volthoom. And then you find out what has happened. When they scream Volthoom, they're all instantaneously transported back to Earth 3, and the Crime Syndicate was ready for the transportation, but apparently the Justice League was not. They're all dazed and about knocked out, and you see the Crime Syndicate just standing over them. And that's when Volthoom was the name of the
Creator of the Power Ring.
Creator of the Power Ring, and because it's magical in nature, it was able to defeat Superman. But they said the reason why they brought him back there is that the Justice League had never been defeated on Earth 1, and they said they had never been defeated on Earth 3, and so they brought them there to do battle on their home grounds.
I'm going to tell you what this page I think this page means to me. I think this means that I think they were like, the only reason they couldn't beat them in their own Earth was because they were tired from teleportation.
Yeah.
From the warp.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm thinking. But this comic page also says it could have been because they had the whole the what was their name again?
Crime Syndicate.
Crime Syndicate.
Yeah.
Had the home advantage.
Yeah, and it says that the Justice League couldn't summon up their full powers, so I don't know. It could be something to that. I don't know, but they do get defeated in this on this page right here, pretty much handily by the Crime Syndicate. And then after that, they're all standing around, and the Crime Syndicate says, "We proved all we proved is that you are better than us." On Earth 1, while we're better than you on Earth 3. We have therefore decided to fight you on a neutral background where neither one of us has any advantage. And then Ultraman uses his new power and looks in and sees Earth 2, the ideal background. And so Power Ring decides to send the Justice League back to Earth 1, but he puts them in a trance, sends them back to their lair, but they can't move. They're sitting at the table. They're in a trance, and he talks about he's going to leave them there, and they're going to go eliminate the Justice Society quickly. And then they pretty much are sitting there talking about won't take any chances with Justice Society superheroes helping their Justice League friends, and they're going to do a super fast fight and get rid of them pretty quickly. And so they're also talking about they must make certain special preparations. Of course, Owlman's doing that. But in the meantime, the Justice Society is seeing that someone is watching them. Dr. Fate is there. They've got some kind of thing where they can tell if somebody is looking in on their Earth, but they can't tell who it is. Dr. Fate casts a portal that sees if it's somebody from Earth 1. He looks in on the Justice League and can tell that they're all in a trance. So they ask if he could break the spell, and he said he could suspend it, but he said that he could only do it long enough to free them momentarily and speak with them, which he does that, and they pretty much tell him what happened with the Crime Syndicate and everything that has went on, and they tell him that do not touch them until after they've defeated them, because if you do, they're going to use the Volthoom, or whatever it is, Volthoom, to send them back to Earth 3 and do the same thing that they did to the Justice League. So the Justice Society says, don't worry, we're going to take care of them, we'll be ready for them, and told them thanks for the warning, and they're going to take precaution to do what is necessary, and it pretty much says that the issue is going to be concluded, the story is going to be concluded next issue, which we will do next week. We will do issue number 30 next week. And that's going to be it for our comic breakdown this time.
I thought that was a pretty cool book.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Just going along with it, you know, and trying to expand on the Earths, you know, how they kept expanding the DC universe with different Earths and stuff. Of course, now all that is different, but this is when it first started and how they were branching out. But anyway, I enjoyed doing that. Justice League was always one of my favorite books to read right at bedtime when I was younger, and I can remember reading this story as well. Well, you got anything you want to add?
Didn't you want to say you wanted to thank Night Tigers?
Yeah, I do want to thank Night Tiger for letting me in on his live stream. If you haven't seen it, he's got it up on his channel. We got to go on there. I did, and I got to show a bunch of books, and I got to see a lot of really good books. There were several really great guests on there. He had a really good show Friday night, invited me to come in. I showed some good books that I had. And saw a lot of really great comics, and I appreciate him inviting me. It was the first time I've ever done a live stream, Will, so it was a little bit different for me, a little bit odd, but I kind of got used to it after a while, and hopefully I can do some more.
All right.
Anybody needs a guest, holler at me. I'll show up, maybe.
All right.
If I can ever get some time from the little one there. But anyway, we appreciate everybody watching our channel. We appreciate all the ones that have subscribed. We appreciate everybody that drops a comment. And don't forget to drop a comment for Willie Mo. Wish him luck on college starting next Monday. Just drop him a comment if you would. Take time to drop that comment. Again, we appreciate you all watching. And everybody have a great work week and be safe out there. And as always,
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs. We'll see you
ya.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.